Aviation Podcast is presented as entertainment, not flight instruction. Though some participants are certified flight instructors, their comments, opinions, and discussions of flying techniques are theirs alone. None of the co-hosts or guests on this podcast are acting as your flight instructor. Please consult your own CFI for guidance on your specific flight training, aeronautical knowledge, and aircraft operation. This is the Stuck Mic AvCast, an aviation podcast about learning to fly, living to fly, and loving to fly.
Welcome to a special edition of the Stuck Mic AvCast. We are here at the Affordable Flying Expo 2025. My name is Carl Valeri, and I'll be your host today. We're going to go out and do a couple interviews in the field at the Expo here. This is actually being brought to you by Aero News Network, and you can find out more at affordableflying.net, affordableflying.net. Had a great day doing interviews. I'm going to go out there, get some more, and it's going to be on the 7th and 8th of November. Actually started on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of November here on the campus of Sun and Fun, and they're going to have it again next year. So this is the first year that they're doing this here, and it's a really wonderful event. We have people from Cub Crafters, Bristol. We have people from many different manufacturers out here talking about a lot of different things, including what's going on with Mosaic. As a matter of fact, our first interview will actually talk a little bit about what's happening here. Shawn Staerker from the Expo here. So let's go into that interview, and I hope you enjoy this. We're going to have 2 days of this, both from the 7th and also the other one, the second day on the 8th. And this is just a blast here. Next year, put it on your calendars. I really highly recommend you coming here and checking it out. It's a very intimate event, and it's something that will actually help you learn a lot about aviation and about Mosaic and what you can do with your light sport aircraft and also with your light sport license. It's really a certificate. It's really a wonderful thing. So I'm excited about Mosaic. Let's go find out if the people that are here are excited about Mosaic. So let's check out some of those interviews. Hey everyone, Carl Valeri with the Stuck Mic AvCast. I'm here at the Affordable Flying Expo 2025. And you know, it's really cool the people you actually get to meet and run into at this show. And one of my favorite people, Shawn Staerker, he's one of the guys that really is somebody who's an incredible advocate for aviation and someone who's done some amazing stuff out there on the internet. But he knows a lot about this expo. And I was going to introduce this, but I got so lucky to run into him. So, hey, first of all, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what's happening here today.
Carl, how are you? It's always great running into you. It's always great knowing that you're going to be on the scene covering the event, no matter what that is. And we're here today at the Affordable Flying Expo. It is the first annual Affordable Flying Expo. So this show is billed as where Mosaic comes to reality, where it becomes real. We've heard about Mosaic, we've heard about the changes, but really, where can we sink our teeth in, and where can we learn about Mosaic? Where can we come see the aircraft and some of the vendors, the products that are going to be available in these aircraft? And that's here at the Affordable Flying Expo. So Aero News Network and the Sport Plane Resource Guide decided, why not? Sunny Florida. Where better to put on an expo than the Sun and Fun grounds, Lakeland? We're here. The weather is absolutely beautiful, and we've got a lot of great aircraft here. We're doing demo flights right now. We've got some great vendors, a lot of good legacy names that came here to see us, and then we've got some great new people in the industry. So just a great mix of excitement here.
You know, one thing that's great about the light sport aircraft and the light sport pilot certificate is the fact that it opens the world to aviation to a lot of people that it wasn't open to before, even people that are looking at careers. And that's something we'll talk about later. But if those people have actually been in my coaching and one-on-one, you know that I advocate for that, especially if you maybe don't have the money right now to be able to afford the flight training. You could actually become a sport pilot instructor with only about 150 hours, and that's really exciting. Are there going to be people here that might be able to talk about that?
Absolutely. So there's a great range of forums. We've got some great experts that are going to come in that are going to talk about possibly, we had a guy yesterday talk about how you can do a 0 to hero in $60,000 because of light sport aviation. And I happen to know a little bit about the light sport aviation, becoming an instructor with the reduced requirements because I follow the Aviation Careers podcast, and that's something that I was introduced to there. there, and we've got people here that will talk a little bit more about that. We've got some presentations on Mosaic coming up, the Mosaic Town Hall, and just an all-around great program full of information.
If somebody's listening to this online, how would they find information about the Affordable Flying Expo?
AffordableFlying.net is the website. Of course, we're going to be updating that as we move into 2026. We're planning a bigger event for 2026. Got a lot of great vendors who said, you know, we weren't able to make it this year, but next year, Florida, November, sounds like the place to be, and it will be. So if anybody's looking, they want to check out Affordable Flying Expo, AffordableFlying.net, and you can watch Aero News Network over on YouTube. Holland Lee does a great job of bringing all the information, including new updates on the Affordable Flying Expo.
This is Light Sport 2.0, I like to call it, and it's more than that. It's like 2.0 on steroids is what I call it. It is so exciting to see more people get into aviation here. Now, Shawn, another thing that I always like to ask people is, and I came out here, I can answer this, one of my favorite things about this show is the people, obviously you, I get to run into, and the aircraft. There are some really cool designs out here. Not putting words in your mouth, what's your favorite thing about the show so far?
I don't even have to think about it. That SilverLight Aviation Recon is something that I have really been excited about. I saw it at Sun and Fun. I heard a little bit about it, but here is my chance to get up close and personal and get a demo flight. That's the beauty of this show, is that you can come and get demo flights, get up close and personal. So I am looking forward to doing that and really checking out this Recon. I'm a low and slow guy, so this could be my next aircraft.
So how can people do that, get demo flights? How do they do that?
Well, just come on out here, talk to some of the great representatives, check out these beautiful aircraft that are shining in the Florida sun. Tell them you're interested, you want to see what this aircraft does, and I'm telling you, it's really, really easy to ask these representatives to go fly. They pretty much said yes before you've asked the question. It's really easy. That's kind of the heart of this show, is getting a demo flight, getting up close and personal, and seeing what affordable aviation is about.
You know, I like what you just said, up close and personal. Is a very intimate event here, and I think that's one of the great things about the Affordable Flying Expo is the fact it is so intimate. I'm hoping that we will be able to have this for many, many years in advance.
I'm hoping that as well. We have a really great base, a really passionate base of individuals in the industry that are supporting this. We have some great supporters. Delta Hawk has been a wonderful supporter to see this show go, and the interest for 2026 has been phenomenal. Obviously, we're a first-year show, so we're learning some of the ins and outs of what people really want to see. We're taking that to heart, and 2026 is going to be phenomenal. But we don't want to discount 2025. There's a lot of great stuff happening here, a lot of great aircraft, a lot of great vendors. I even see a couple of good food trucks over there that, you know, I always talk about in-flight snacks on the Future in-Flight podcast, and so I may have to go check out a good in-flight snack today.
Yeah, I saw Burger 21. I'm really excited about that. Speaking of the podcast, what is it that you're involved with now? I think some people don't know what that is, the Future in Flight podcast you just alluded to.
That's it. It is it's a family-friendly, youth-focused podcast. We started for ages 14 to 24, but really it's something that the whole family can sit around. We have great magazine-style programming where we have these really interesting stories. We talk to wonderful people who help launch these individuals into aviation careers, people like yourself from the Aviation Careers podcast, and some we had Textron on recently talking about the Special Olympics airlift that they do. So we have some really great interest stories and then some really actionable advice from people who are out there where the rubber meets the tarmac that these kids can act on. They can go check out some of these great websites, our great partners, people like Jamail Larkins at aviationstart.org. Get some scholarships. Of course, yourself, you have a great scholarship guide as well, so you can find out where you fit in this industry, find out some advocates and some people to help you, and come into aviation. There may be a fence around the airport, but once you get in, this is a great place to be.
It sure is. No matter what you're doing, hey, if you don't want to go to the airlines, Affordable Flying Expo is a place to be also because of the fact that you can become an instructor in a light sport and you can enjoy the rest of your life putting forth that passion of aviation to other folks that are out there. I think that's what you're doing with that podcast.
That's it. We're really all about spreading the passion, the magic of aviation to both people who want to be professionals, but also the enthusiasts. We've had people like Aviation's chief content creator, Ethan Cole. He's got a great segment about how to photograph airplanes. So there's some great tips about where to position them, and then we've got some people talking about air-to-air photography. So both career-focused and then enthusiast-focused on the Future in Flight podcast.
Shawn, this has been great talking to you. What do you think, if people are coming here today, what should they really check out if they're interested in light sport and they really they know nothing about it.
Well, definitely get in the forums. That's where the information is. Come, look at some of these great aircraft, talk to the great vendors, but the forums are where it's at.
So where can they find those forums?
Well, the forums are right over in the Prop 75, so right across from Hangar A. You'll see a great media center set up over there, and we've got a list of great presenters here. If you come into Hangar A, the schedule is here. You can even hear Jim in the background announcing some of those forums right now. You'll come into Hangar A, and then you'll look right out to see Prop 75. It's a wonderful setup. Go in there and get educated on Mosaic. Join the club. It is really a low barrier to entry right now into aviation. It may be the lowest it's ever been, and we've got some great new faces in here. Come on in. The hangar, there's room for more. There's room for everybody in aviation.
Absolutely. I love how you say that. And that's Jim Campbell, Air News Network. And you can find out more about the Affordable Flying Expo at
affordableflying.net.
affordable.flying.net. Shawn, it's wonderful talking to you, and I'm excited to see some of the content that you put out, especially with the podcast and everything else you've done here. Hats off to you for everything you do in aviation, and thanks so much for talking to us.
Well, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being here and supporting this event as well, Carl.
Well, thanks so much. This is Carl Valeri with Aviation Careers Podcast and the Stuck Mic AvCast, reporting right here at the Affordable Flying Expo 2025. This is Carl Valeri with the Stuck Mic AvCast reporting here at the Affordable Flying Expo. And I'm here with Abid Farooqui, who is the actual president and founder of AJ Sport Aircraft. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're talking about an aircraft that we've seen before, and it looks very familiar. I walked up and I looked at it and says, that's a CTLS. So first of all, tell us a little bit about the aircraft that you have, and also other aircraft that you have here at the show at the Affordable Flying Expo.
Sure. So I'm with SilverLight Aviation and Aerojones Aviation USA. And then what we have, why you recognize that aircraft, like you said, it's Flight Design CTLS. It looks similar, but it also looks different. You can see the wing is different slightly, especially the wingtip. The tail is slightly different. The fuel system inside is completely redesigned. It is IS engine only, and the wiring inside is completely redone. So there are some differences between the CTLS or CTLSI and this. For the better, the engine cowling and the front of the aircraft is also slightly different for better cooling of the coolant and radiator. But basically, very proven model, similar performance as CTLS or CTLSI, but now coming in as Aerojones AJ Sport. And we are the exclusive distributors for it, based in Florida at Zephyr Hills Municipal Airport, ZPH. And we assemble it here. So we don't get the aircraft complete. Aircraft comes here incomplete, and we are the manufacturer of record in the US based, and we actually assemble the aircraft here. We do the installation of avionics, engine, propeller, BRS, things like that, install the wings, all that stuff is done here. So we actually have the authority in the US to make changes to it regardless of what they're doing in the Taiwanese manufacturer is doing. If we find a problem here in the US market that we want to fix, we'll work with them and we can force the engineering to make a change.
Terrific. So for those that can't see right now, because it's an audio podcast, who is this aircraft more designed towards? It's a light sport aircraft right now?
Correct. It's a light sport aircraft, special light sport aircraft right now as the definition stands today. So for Mosaic, the definition changes, of course. You can go higher weight, but we are not there yet. So right now it's 1320. You get about 500 pounds of useful load. And it's similar to right now our Recon, the folding wing Avid Flyer derivative. That airplane is a different different kind of aircraft, more like tail dragger or tri-gear. It comes in both ways. So both these aircraft kind of in the light sport right now, but both these airplanes will be going up in gross weight later on.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. You know, Mosaic is absolutely terrific. Just wondering your take on it. Are you excited about Mosaic?
Yeah, I am, and I'm actually an engineer and also do consulting, helping small aircraft companies to comply with standards. So I'm already working with some companies to help them get up to Mosaic. Mosaic standard, design standard, basic one was just actually put out by the committee. And so I'm starting to work on that as well, for us as well as for some other companies that need some help.
So for those people that are wanting to see this right now as they're listening, where's a website they can check out the aircraft?
So both aircraft can be found on SilverLightAviation.com. That's SILVERLIGHT aviation.com. You'll also see our AR-1 gyroplane that we didn't bring here, but it was here yesterday actually. So you can see our gyroplane, our Recon folding wing Avid Fly derivative airplane, as well as the fully composite AJ Sport.
So why the folding wing?
So in Florida, and I think in a lot of the country, there's a lot of problems finding full hangars, right? And a lot of people are having that problem. So sometimes many airports will have like a line of T hangars, but at the end they'll have this what they call an end cap, which is basically a half hanger. Well, you fold that wing, and not many people can take that half hanger. Doesn't work for an airplane. You can put a gyroplane there, but that's not everywhere. So you can have a folding wing airplane, fold the wings in 12 minutes, and you can put it in there. So that's 12 minutes, one person. All you have to make sure is that the fuel tanks are half empty, and you fold the wings, and you're done in about 12 minutes.
So let's talk a little bit about price and performance on both of them. So start with the first one, and the first one we're calling the AJ Sport. What is the entry level cost, and also what would that include?
Yeah, there is, there's not much of a choices in that. It's a special light sport aircraft, so it comes with dual dynon, 2X's autopilot, Garmin radio, PS engineering intercom, ADS-B in and out, and Garmin 760 as a backup GPS. The only option there is you get a BRS or you don't get a BRS. That's a $10,500 option. The other option is for flight schools, if they want IFR training package, so we can do a GPS 175 for RNAV approaches, or you can do a IFT 440 for RNAV as well as ILS approaches, and do the full, training for IFR. So that package is like, $25,000 for flight schools. But other than that, basic airplane is pretty much nicely loaded. BRS or no BRS is the only option. And it's night flight approved. It can be an IFR trainer with that IFR package, but it's 912 IS, EPROP, and just comes certified like that. There is not much of a choice in there. So the price point is so we had introductory price at 175, but that's over. First 5 units went with that, but now it's over, and it's 199,000 without BRS, or about 209,500 with BRS, essentially.
A lot less than buying another certified aircraft. And the other thing is talk a little bit about performance and fuel burn.
Yeah, so it is very, fuel burn is very small. For about 3.8 gallons, you're doing about 100 knots true airspeed, economy cruise, and you can go 7.5 hours, 700 nautical mile range. And if you are kind of pushing it, you can go 110 to 115 knot, speed. You'll be burning 5.25 gallons per hour. So 150 knot, you will reduce your range, but of course, if you want to get there faster, that's what you like.
So for those looking for maintenance on the aircraft too, the road tag, that kind of concerns some people. Should they be concerned about maintenance?
No, not really. The aircraft is, unless you crash it, the maintenance is very minor, about $1,000 per year annual, I would say, till you get to the 5-year, and then there's a 5-year rubber replacement on Rotex engines. And since this is IS engine, you don't have carburetor rebuilds, all that stuff. You have something to do with the gearbox at 600 hours. You have some other rubber hoses you would want to change out at 5 years, but really not much maintenance other than that. It's a composite airplane. Unless you crash it, it doesn't have a fatigue life that's calculated based on condition.
So let me shift gears. How about Mosaic? What are you most excited about Mosaic?
So things with Mosaic is taking away this prescriptive limits of 13-20 pounds gross weight, no matter what your stall speed is, right? I mean, if you're looking at safety, stall speed makes a lot more sense, right? Because especially stall speed when you're approaching and coming into land, that's where you're going to have the issues, right? We know that the stall spin accidents all happen on the base to final a lot of times and stuff. So stall speed is what really, and the characteristics of flight, that's where it should be based on. So Mosaic has taken that away and actually took in a logical approach to things. So that's the good news. And it also allows you to build more stable, heavier aircraft that still gives you the low stall speed characteristics. And if you can play the physics and you know how to do it, you can go up to 250 knots, although I don't think anybody can do a 59 knot clean stall and go 250 knot cruise, but it's a physics limit, it's not a rule limit. So yeah, I think it opens up, and again, 4-seat aircraft with ASTM compliance. Instead of buying a $1.2 million Cirrus, you want to go 180 knots, you can now possibly get an ASTM compliant aircraft at less than half the price.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so really good, and same thing with the even the bush planes or the Recon, you can now build 4-seat versions of that. That means that a private pilot can buy it and take his 2 kids and his wife with him. So that's really, and if not 2 kids, a lot more luggage. Yeah.
Absolutely. So how about the market for the AJ Sport as far as the aircraft going forward? Now we're seeing people are able to get into a 172. Yeah. Who will you market that to? Do you think that's still applicable to the market?
Yeah, so we just had 2 sales to flight schools with the IFR package, because those guys are finding the 172s and things like that. Their 172s are in the shop as much as they are flying now. So, it was different in 2004. You were still talking 20 years ago. Now, they are having to maintain those aircraft so much that they are, a lot of flight schools are like, I'm done with this. I'll just get a newer aircraft. And when you go looking at newer aircraft, then these, what were the light sports and now Mosaic light sports, are going to make a lot more sense. Now, even the older light sports, because flight schools are not necessarily looking for 180 knot cruise speed or even 160 knot cruise speed. They want nice, fuel efficient, easy to maintain or less maintenance aircraft. And these light sports that are even 600 kilograms now making a lot more sense because they're more economical. They don't have to be maintained as much. Your fleet is not half grounded all the time. So I'm finding that actually those 600 kilogram light sports even, now we're going to raise the weight later on with Mosaic in July 26, but these things are going to make a lot more sense for flight schools that are looking for reliable fleet, doesn't have to be maintained as much, and fuel economy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something else to remember. It's in July of 2026 as far as manufacturers are concerned, but the rules are already out there for pilots, right?
Rules took effect, I believe, October 2025. So people can today, sport pilots can fly 172, and a sport pilot can train in a 172, and all your sport pilot flight hours doesn't mean they go away. They apply towards your private pilot if you can decide to continue later. So sport pilot may be, instead of soloing, it may actually be like a stepping stone for people who don't have all the money saved up, but they can become a sport pilot, still rent and fly a 172, and then they have money saved up in 6 months and come back and finish, their private pilot and go forward that way.
For people that are looking at putting this into a flight school, either on a lease pack or owning it themselves and teaching in it, one of the benefits that I've heard is the structure of the landing gear. It's a very robust structure. Can you talk a little bit towards that as far as the aircraft holding up to a lot of instruction in general?
Correct. So that is one of the things. If you look at the Part 23, structural loads, and you look at the undercarriage loads, it's not that the light sports were made any less in terms of rule, but what you saw is Cessna 152s and stuff, they went way beyond what the Part 23 required. So you could drop them in many times and they would hold up. Light sports, because of the weight restrictions and stuff, they couldn't make it way beyond. They just complied with Part 23 or ASTM standard. They both had the same exact sort of landing gear loads. I think Part 23 did have a little bit more. But now with the weight restriction gone, there is a possibility of making a more robust undercarriage so it can take on the training requirements better. And that's where I say the original idea of light sport and putting an artificial weight limit on it rather than a safety, logical-based weight limit on it, is now that's the game is a little bit different. So now we can make a little bit, and you'll be surprised, just a little bit change in that landing gear can make it last a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the FAA agrees with you too. It took about 10 years to get this through, and we're really excited about that. So anything else you want to talk about? And if not, tell me a little bit about how they can find you again online.
Sure. So they can find us at silverlightaviation.com. And other things is, the things that people are not concentrating on, there are these other categories of aircraft like gyroplane and electric VTOL, eVTOL. They are coming on with Mosaic. And now you'll be able to fly a gyroplane factory built instead of waiting and making the gyroplane as experimental amateur built. So that's coming along. I'm actually working on that subcommittee for making the design standard right now. We are working very fast and hard to do that. And similarly, helicopters, 2-seat helicopters will be with simplified control. Now we don't know what simplified control is. That's being defined. So it's going to take a little time, but helicopters will now, sport pilots will be able to fly it. And most importantly, helicopters can be made under ASTM standards 2-seat. And they have the weight limits. They still have the 1320 weight limits. But basically, they have the 2-seat limit. They cannot do 4-seat like airplanes can. But those categories of aircraft are new. eVTOL, you are seeing gyroplanes, and you're seeing helicopters with simplified controls. So eVTOL with simplified control, helicopter with simplified controls, and gyroplanes, and even a jump takeoff gyroplane. Wow. So it's possible. So those things are other things besides airplanes that are coming in that are very exciting.
So remind me, the two that are out here, you have the aircraft, but you also have a gyroplane?
Correct. We have a AR-1, American Ranger 1 gyroplane. That's a modern style gyroplane made in Florida, right here at Zephyr Hills, Florida. And we have about 62 flying around as experimental amateur build with builder's assist. But now, hopefully starting later next year, we'll be able to offer it as factory built with ASTM standards compliance. Yeah.
Can someone come and check out your facility there in St. Augustine?
No, in Zephyr Hills. Zephyr Hills. Yeah, absolutely. They just have to call ahead, and that's our final assembly facility. We do composites in Largo, Florida. We do some of the welding and stuff in Brooksville. So yeah, they can certainly come out and check us out.
Well, I think I'm going to stop by and say hi in Z Hills. Sure. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you talking to us today, and I'm excited about this. I'm excited about what you're doing and the fact that we're going to build more robust aircraft. Correct. And this marketplace, I think, is going to get bigger. I think this is pretty much the future of small GA airplanes. Yeah. Affordable Flying Expo. Thanks so much for talking to us. I really appreciate it. One more time, the website?
SilverLightAviation.com.
SilverLightAviation.com. This is Carl Valeri here at the Affordable Flying Expo reporting for Stuck Mic AvCast and Sun and Fun Radio. You can watch us and stream us online at atc.net/SNF. Hi, this is Carl Valeri with the Stuck Mic AvCast, and I'm here at the Affordable Aircraft Expo. It's a really exciting event. There's a lot of great vendors and some really cool aircraft outside. Right now I'm here with Lori and Matt Higgins from Hummel Aircraft Company. So Lori, what do we have here at the booth here today?
So we have our Ultra Cruiser Part 103 compliant ultralight. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, so plans are on sale, 25% off. We've got, you can build it with a kit, with modules, with a full kit, or we could do a lightning build where we do about 95% of it, and you just put in the instruments in the engine. And then we have our ready to fly Ultra Cruiser option. We also have a light sport experimental, our H5 for the larger pilots and the ones that want to go a little bit faster. So we have that as well.
So this is the Affordable Flying Expo. So one of the reasons you're here is because the aircraft is affordable. What kind of price point are we looking at for both?
It depends on how you want to go about doing it. The ultralight aircraft, you can purchase a kit, which is around 20, a little over 20, minus the engine. Or you can go with the Lightning build, which is about 31, 32. That's with us doing the 90% of it. And then you've got the ready to fly, which is what we've been doing a lot of lately. We've got about 8 or 10 of those going out this year, and that's around 43. 1,000. Yep. And then we've got our H5, which is of course LS&A. So you've got to do the majority of the building on that one. The kit's
mid-20s.
Yeah, mid-20s.
Yeah, this is Matt from Hummel. So on H5, you would be all in if you built it yourself about 45,000. But it's a plane that a 300-pound, 6'3", 6'4" person could fly in at 100, 120 miles an hour pretty comfortably. Even our ultralight can handle a 250-pound pilot, which is kind of rare in an ultralight, at 1.5 gallons an hour. So that's pretty good deal. And both designs are all metal. Construction is typical, I would say, I don't want to say Piper, but typical rivet and flange construction. So nothing new, no composites, simple to build. Both airplanes are pretty fast to build. The Ultra Cruiser is about a 200 or 250 hour build time now. It's pretty fast. All the holes are in everything. You don't have to fabricate anything anymore. It's basically a Cleco and rivet product. So.
How about support, for the person that's actually building maybe for their first time? Because this is a pretty good price point. Do you offer some type of support?
We do. We have tons of videos. We have a very, very extensive 3D build manual. Most people, when we sell them a full kit, we offer, they come to the factory to pick up their kit. Most people have been doing that way. We'll spend a day or a day and a half with them and build the first, I'm going to say third of the airframe with them so they can take it home. We don't charge anything for that. That's just kind of what we do. We've done some build weekends where we've had 6, 7 builders there at a time building their planes. But we're always available by phone or email. We have got customers all over the country, probably almost in every state, I think. So there's always somebody pretty close by that's got a flying airplane. If you need a little help, if we can't get there or just over the phone isn't working, we can get somebody out to take a look.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool looking airplane. I think I've seen one here in Lakeland. Well, I've seen one every year here in Lakeland, but in general, I think I've seen one flying around. And it's very unique, and the visibility is amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So as far as experience with the aircraft, you guys have been doing this for a while. What type of person usually is happiest with this aircraft, do you think?
Majority of our customers right now are retired military and retired airline pilots because they want a metal ultralight. They don't want a fabric, they want a metal ultralight. And they want to sit in it and feel like they're in a metal airplane that they're used to. That's our customer base.
Yeah, and those that know me, that would be me, and I would want to be in that metal aircraft too. And this actually, it's been around for quite some time. We're talking 44 years, right?
Yeah, the Hummel Bird is 44 year. Ultra Cruiser is 25 years, and the H5 is 15. Yeah, there's lots of these around.
We have a pretty big following. We've got customers that have created their own Facebook page, so it's monitored by them. It's their input. It's not us overseeing it. So it's true, experienced people in our Hummel products, and they are truly one of the best groups that we could have asked to work with.
So those people, can they find that, say, on your website? And again, what's the website?
The website is hummelaircraft.com. The Facebook page, we have our own Facebook page, but the Facebook page for our pilots and owners is Hummel Aircraft Owners and Builders.
What's really cool, too, we're right here at the Expo, and I noticed you had a couple QR codes for some of the people that actually have built their own, and I'd love to go out there and check out some of those YouTube videos. And that's the wonderful thing about the internet. They can be out there and be advocates. But as far as the community, it seems like there is quite a community out there that if someone runs into a problem, I'm assuming they can just reach out to somebody else.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what the Facebook page is used for primarily. And then, of course, we've got our build videos online for free. We've got other resources available. In fact, I just contacted a customer who is nearby another potential customer, and he's welcoming him. It's our ambassador program. We have certain customers who are ambassadors for the company, and they kind of host other possible builders. So it's nice. Cool. Yeah,
absolutely. So again, this is at the Affordable Flying Expo. Where else might they see you possibly throughout the year?
We have a couple local fly-ins up in Southeast Michigan and Ohio. We're trying to debate what other air shows we're going to do this year based on our workload. We're thinking we're probably going to do Oshkosh this year. Probably not Sun and Fun. We might alternate. We tried to do the Midwest show last year. We were just too busy. We couldn't get away. That's where we're shooting for this year anyway.
So how about this expo? I know this is the first year doing this. I don't know if you've ever been to any of the other light sport expos. How has this been going so far?
It's the first year.
Yeah.
It's the first year. But we're talking to some people.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah. We're kind of. We feel a little weird because affordable is a relative term. Right. So we're the $8 an hour operating expense kind of airplane here, and the the price of admission for us is much cheaper than a lot of other folks here. So I don't want to say we're an outlier, but we're certainly a little different than the crowd that's here.
You're the affordable aircraft at the affordable aircraft expo. So yeah, absolutely, affordable flying expo. One thing that's really exciting about this whole thing with the LSA and Mosaic, I think it's going to open up the market to a lot more people. And I think that's going to affect a lot of manufacturers that are out there. Do you see that as something that's going to be a good tailwind for you folks?
I think so. I think it's going to open up our H5 a little bit more to customers who don't want to do that 51%. So I think that'll be helpful in that aspect. We've also got a couple R&D projects going on, and I think that'll be helpful in that area as well.
So tell us a little bit about that moving forward as far as the R&D, Matt.
So all of our customers have been asking for a two-place Hummel forever. Mm-hmm. So I have one that's probably 90% done and 90% to go, typical. It's a big airplane. It's a big Hummel. Basically, it's built like all the rest of them. It's just big. So it's a two-place tandem, 800-pound useful load for two people. So we can put two regular size, but me size, two real size people in the airplane and have some room to spare. Seating is comfortable, like sitting in an F-150 or a decent chair that you get your legs bent. So it's not like a go-kart. I'm not a big fan of sitting in an airplane. It feels like a go-kart. I don't like that too much. So we're building that all metal, same construction method, same skill set. We have a lot of customers right now. I think that if the airplane was available, our current Hummel customers that want to move up to a two-place, we kind of have a built-in market. So that's kind of a hot deal. So we're trying to decide when that's done whether we're going to want to go SLSA with that or just keep it experimental. But we're not really sure yet. We got to kind of feel like and see how it goes, and from our company mission, what we really want to get into, because we really like the ultralights. We really like supporting that, so we don't want to take away from that if we get too big and too diverse.
Yeah, absolutely. So about how many do you have out there again?
Ultralights, lots.
Yeah, I mean we've sold over 1,000 plans. That was part of the celebration this year, as we met 1,000 plans just for the Ultra Cruiser. We've got 8 or 10 going out a year, ready to fly for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, we think there's between 300 and 400 probably flying. It's hard to tell with an ultralight because they're not registered, so you don't know where they go. There's about 40 H5s flying around. There's Ultra Cruisers in England. There's Ultra Cruisers in Japan. There's Ultra Cruisers in Australia. There's Ultra Cruisers in Canada, Brazil, Spain. Let's see, there's a couple other ones somewhere else, but they're all over. They're all over. France. There are Hummel birds, the oldest design, literally everywhere. We don't even have an idea how many of those are because we're at like 5,000 sets of plans for 40 years. And it's kind of a funny story. Almost anywhere you go at an airport, if I'm wearing my Hummel work shirt, somebody will say, "Oh, my brother had a Hummel bird." Yeah. It's like Kleenex, kind of, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we don't build those parts for those anymore. It's a cool little design, but the market really pushed toward the ultralights and the bigger airplane. So.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like looking at it, I was like, hey, I've seen that one. And you see them everywhere, or one. You see one somewhere, and you're like, wow, that's a really, really unique design that you have out there. What's something about Hummel that you want people to know that maybe they don't know about Hummel, or something that would be a benefit to somebody new to aviation?
We want people up and flying. That's more important to us than making the almighty dollar. Yes, we'd like to make a living, and we do well. But we want to see people up and flying, and we do work with a lot of educational groups. We work with a lot of EAA groups, as well as some high schools that are building right now. So we offer a pretty decent discount for those folks because we want the younger generation interested in what's going on. That's important. We're both educators by trade, true, so we want people to be up there flying, basically.
Absolutely, and this does lower the barrier to entry, and especially for those high schools. I mean, having a nephew that built one in a high school, that inspired him to go out, and now he's working as a commercial pilot. So you never know what might happen, or whatever. I mean, this might spur them to get into engineering or something like that, and what you're doing, I think, is absolutely terrific, and we really appreciate that. And again, the website is?
HummelAircraft.com.
HummelAircraft.com. Anything else, Matt and Lori, that you want to talk about here? The Affordable Flying Expo. Don't forget to come by. It's both on Friday and Saturday. And listen to these interviews on liveatc.net/SNF, liveatc.net/SNF, and also on Stuck Mic AvCast. This is Carl Valeri with the Stuck Mic AvCast talking to Matt and Lori here at Hummel Aircraft. This is Carl Valeri from the Affordable Flying Expo, and I'm really excited because I'm here with Anitra Goddard, who is now, since we spoke last, is actually working with Sun and Fun, and is probably one of the best social media people I know out there, and always has the happiest smile. And I know this is audio, but if you're here right now, you can see this beautiful smile that she has. Anitra, this has been an awesome show, and welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really cool. I love the vision behind what Jim had for this show. I think it was really needed, and it really greatly fills the gap in between the air show every year. So I really look forward to seeing this grow.
So the neat thing about this Affordable Flying Expo is the fact that it really does introduce light sport, but also introduces Light Sport 2.0, or what we might call Mosaic. And what's really neat about this show is the fact that they have all these different, seminars and webinars and displays, et cetera, and it enables people to really learn. And that's something that's cool. It's also very intimate. So what's your experience been here at the Expo?
Well, I think you captured it well when you said intimate. It's big enough that you have people coming from all over, but yet small enough that where you can have that one-on-one time with all of the vendors. It's nice and spread out. I've learned a lot about our vendors that I wouldn't have known.
Well, enough about the show. Let's talk about you, because I'm excited because I'm looking at this really cool van right here, and I've watched what you've been doing online. So tell us, number one, what you're doing with Sun and Fun, and what's up with the van?
Well, if you've seen me online and you've seen my stories, I introduced myself. I'm, hey there, Son of Fanatics, right? We have this really cool Son of Fanatic graphic on the side that we made just for the van, and I am the Sun and Fun Fan Van Ambassador. So the concept was that, every year-round, people plan to come to Sun and Fun, and they serve us. We have 3,000 plus volunteers that help make the show possible outside of the staff that's here year-round. And I said, I think we need to go take the sun and the fun on the road and serve those who serve us. So what I do is I take this van and I go to fly-ins all over the Southeast, and I speak the Sun and Fun gospel.
Sun and Fun Van Ambassador, is that what we're calling it?
The Sun and Fun Fan Van Ambassador.
I missed the fan. The Sun and Fun Fan Van Ambassador. Okay, I got it now. And it's the coolest thing. And by the way, you can follow the van I think on Sun and Fun's Facebook page, right?
That's right. You'll see me post on the stories. Our handle is @FlySNF, and that's on all the social media platforms.
So now that you're an ambassador, tell us a little bit about what's in store for next year's Sun and Fun.
Well, next year is our Red, White, and Blue for 52 is the theme. As you all know, we do a theme every year, and the United States turns 250 years old next year. So we're doing this really wonderful grassroots patriotic theme, and we're asking people with the red, white, and blue airplanes to come. We are asking people to bring flags, hang them from your wing struts or at your campsite. We want it to be a sea of red, white, and blue for our 52, our 52nd year here at Sun and Fun.
Are they going to see anything different as far as the way it's laid out and type of exhibitors, or pretty much the same as last year?
I think it's pretty much going to be the same. I mean, we always debrief after the show every year to see where we can improve, and we take any changes we make really seriously. We, consider how everything's going to be impacted. There is going to be a new show format this year for Wednesday, actually, and we're very excited for it. What we're doing is the day show is going to be pushed back to a later time, a much later time, like 4 to 5 p.m. I don't know that we've locked that in yet. So the airport's going to stay open all day up until the day show starts at the 4 or 5 p.m. start time. And then we will roll straight into the night show for Wednesday, which will allow the airport to stay open longer so more airplanes can fly in and out. Also, I think our exhibitors are going to love that because they can conduct business without jets flying overhead. So I think it'll overall be a win.
Yeah, I think it'll be a win. And people don't realize this is a working airport. We have an airline, couple of airline here, Velo and Amazon and a lot of corporate aircraft. So not only do we have an air show going on and we have the Expo here, we also have all this commercial flying going on. How do they coordinate all that?
Well, just like you said, it's communication and coordination, right? We all have to work together so that we can all be successful, and that's what we do.
So going back to the Affordable Aircraft Expo, Affordable Flying Expo, one of the things that's kind of neat about this, so this is actually done through Aero News Network. Aero News Network is putting this on, but they're actually partnering with Sun and Fun, and I think that's terrific that they've done that. So this is their thing, but you guys have really embraced them and have gotten behind them, and I think that's terrific.
Well, all the cream rises to the top, right? Through their success, we're successful, and vice versa. We have the facility. We're centrally located here. It makes sense, and I see it as a win.
Yeah, absolutely is a win-win situation right here. So the van that you have here, and I've noticed all the pictures that are online, you actually physically drive this all over, or do you fly to meet it?
No, I drive this van. I've put 6,000 miles on this van in the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, I've been home 6 days, and that is not consecutively. So, yeah. And I take my dog here, Draco, with me. Everybody knows the dog, so.
Is Draco named after an airplane?
Actually, he is a rescue, and coincidentally, for those who don't know me, I am heavily integrated into the STOL community, the short takeoff and landing community backcountry, and Draco is a rescue, and that's the name he came with.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, that's very serendipitous.
That is serendipitous. And actually, I wasn't sure if I should introduce you as a STOL queen, but we're still involved with that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, on top of my role here as the engagement liaison for Sun and Fun, I have been the STOL chairman since STOL has been at Sun and Fun since 2019 and has evolved into the STOL Base Camp, which is where all the backcountry aircraft park during the air show here. I'm also the chairman of the STOL demonstration that takes place on Tuesday, Thursdays, Friday on the grass strip over in Paradise City.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like STOL, for those that don't understand, short takeoff and landing, what can people expect if they're new to this to see there?
Okay, so really what it is, it's a kind of a spot landing competition with a distance factor. So we line the airplanes up to a line like you would, much like a drag race, pull up to the line. Our air bosses launch the pilots, and the goal is to take off in the shortest distance possible. Your judges on the line record the measurement, and when they come back in and land, they have to land on the line or past it. And when they come to a complete stop, we record that score, and the pilot goal is to have the combined shortest distance with takeoff and landing.
Interesting. So this is something I think more advanced pilots are probably doing?
Well, no, for the STOL demo here at Sun and Fun, yes. Because of the crowd factor, we want, experienced pilots that are at the top of their game. But anybody can go to a STOL competition. In fact, I encourage them to do that because you're not doing any unusual airport operations. You're taking off and landing. I believe that practicing for these contests and doing these contests and being around the more experienced STOL competitors makes you a better pilot.
Yeah, absolutely does. As you know, I used to coach the flight team here at Polk State, and that was one of the big part to short takeoffs and landings. For those that are into flying as a career, it is really important because that's the thing you're going to be doing every day is putting that jet in the touchdown zone every single time that you land. This is great training for that. You can tell a difference with people that, especially their stick and rudder skills when they actually do participate in STOL competition. So what's next for Anitra?
Well, I'm back on campus now. As everyone knows, a lot of the fly-ins start winding down during the holidays. I may be making day trips out here locally around Central Florida. I know that our airport down here, South Arcadia, they have a wonderful Taco Tuesday. And actually, I'd invite anybody that's listening, if you have any neat events at your airport happening in the Central Florida area, please reach out to me. And if you want the fan van to come out, we give out swag and talk about Sun and Fun and give away tickets. And so I'm looking for engaging airports to go out and talk to the people.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're into history, Arcadia is a great place to go. The Royal Air Force Cadets, there's about 25 of them that are interred down there, and they come by every year during Sun and Fun, actually. The cadets help out, restore a lot of the grave sites there. And it's just a beautiful town, too. And I love the fact that you can go camping on the airport there. And it really surely has changed. Yeah,
Shelley has done a wonderful job developing Arcadia. Actually, when I early on in my STOL days, they held a Wheels and Wings competition there. They had a STOL competition there where I met Jay Stanford and a lot of the guys that fly the STOL demo here at Sun and Fun now. So Shelley's done an amazing job developing that airport.
So the fan van, how do you know what city you're in when you wake up?
A lot of times I don't remember. I have to just look at my GPS guy. Actually, I'll ask Siri, where am I?
I figured. Well, it's been great talking to you. Anything else you want people to know about Sun and Fun, about STOL, and about what you're doing here?
Well, I mean, I think we really covered everything. This year's going to be amazing. I encourage everyone to come out. I encourage everyone to open their newsletters because that is one thing I have learned on my travels and speaking to pilots. We have a lot of really great incentives for pilots to fly into the air show. We've got a lot of cool things, a lot of neat swag, incentives, and you don't know about those things if you don't open the newsletters. So I would encourage you to do that. Go to our website, see what we're offering for you to fly in, which is flysnf.org is our website, and lots of great information there. Just take the time and see what kind of cool stuff. We're doing an amazing 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. We do it every year. It's very successful, and I was just up in Melissa's office yesterday, and she was showing me all the cool swag that we're giving away for that.
Well, that's terrific. Anitra, I'm glad you're here. You're a great advocate for aviation just in general, but the fact you're here at Sun and Fun, I am so excited for, and I'm glad to see you in Polk County. We're neighbors now.
Yeah, it's great to be back in Polk County. Great to be here back at Sun and Fun full time. It truly is the dream job.
Yeah, absolutely is. And to find out more, flysnf.org and actually follow, like you said, newsletter, but also all the different social media. They have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, even their website there. You're on X, everything. You're all over the place. So I really appreciate everything you do and the fact that you've been such an advocate for aviation. Thanks so much.
No, thank you. And I also would like to add my email address, if you don't mind. That's agoddard at flysnf.org for those that are interested in having me come out to the airport.
Absolutely. So make sure Goddard at flysnf.org. Make sure you reach out if you want Anitra to come out, the STOL Queen, also the great ambassador for aviation, and always smiling. You can tell she's coming by that big smile coming out down the runway. That's for sure. Thanks again. And also, if you're here listening, we also rebroadcast this on Sun and Fun Radio, liveatc.net/SNF. This is Carl Valeri with the Stuck Mic AvCast reporting for Sun and Fun Radio. Well, I hope you enjoyed those interviews from the Affordable Flying Expo. You can find out more at affordableflying.net. It's been exciting bringing these to you. We're going to have a couple more interviews tomorrow on the 8th of November. Don't forget to sign up for next year's Affordable Flying Expo, and you can find it at affordableflying.net. We'll talk to you in the next episode. Safe flying out there.